always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I keep myself.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Fine Crossing the Mic.
Of the what?
It's the Fine Crossing the Mic. Define.
Oh, define. Oh, you said the fine. No. Fair enough.
So, new logo or new background.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty. Okay, so couple of special announcements just came into the news desk. Crossing the Mic is now exclusively on Spotify.
The audio?
The audio. Yes. The audio podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So, first two episodes are already up. This one will be up. If you're already watching this, it'll already kind of be there. As far as new episodes coming up on the newly rebranded podcast, check it out wherever you find your podcast. It's on 22 different platforms, apparently. All jokes aside.
There were 22.
No, I think we're only on 6 that I know of. So the very, very next one to come out, there's going to be 2. Right? No. 1. Coming up on, well, there's 2. There's one coming up on Sunday. It's going to be a monster truck special with Tanner Root. He's driving in the Hot Wheels this weekend. So that's going to be awesome. So find that on YouTube, Beyond Roanoke Entertainment, or wherever you find your podcast. And then coming up on the 26th, we have a local podcast, meaning somebody local here to Roanoke. Her name, well, she goes by Rogue Mom Comics. It's about an hour-long episode where we talk everything Marvel, DC, comics. So, dive in. That's what's coming up in the next week. And today, we are going to be talking Doctor Strange spoilers?
We'll be talking Doctor Strange. There just probably will be spoilers.
So, spoiler alert, you have been warned.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to do the top 10, the weekly top 10. Horrible. That's going to be Ghostbusters moments. Good, bad, indifferent. Now, we're excluding the 2016. Love it or hate it?
Just going
it's out.
For franchised 1, 2, and Afterlife.
So that's going to be the top 10. And then the weekly collectibles. You're just going to have to stay tuned for this one because I couldn't believe it. Could you believe it?
Yeah, I'm the one that bought them.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It's amazing. So definitely stay tuned for that. And then we'll have more craziness coming up. So without further ado, let's dive into some of the Doctor Strange things. If you haven't seen it, for God's sakes, man, go see the damn thing. I mean, really. It's been out in the theater for what, 2 weeks?
Almost.
3 weeks? 2 weeks? 2.5?
I believe 2 weeks.
So,
this Friday.
If you haven't seen it, you must be living under a fucking rock. Go see it. This isn't live, so we're recording.
Or don't. I mean, it's up to you. We're not going to tell you how to live your lives.
It wasn't... Okay, let's put it in perspective.
Yes.
In the lineup of what's come out in the last year, Spider-Man No Way Home, obviously for reasons that we probably won't get into, was better.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And that's just because of who did it, who was in it. Spoiler again, if you haven't seen it, go see the damn thing. It's on DVD, for Christ's sake.
Mm-hmm.
It's on digital, too. But that one was just so well. And it's not that they're not well put together. It was, but I think that it's kind of like in-game. How do you follow that? You know what I mean?
Spider-Man.
Oh, I know, but it's like that, where you have an epic movie with a lot of cameos, and it was all over the place, but it was good, wholesome entertainment, kept you on your seat. But how do you follow that? You just don't.
Not very easy.
You can't. It's like being in a wrestling match and the main event is supposed to be the best spot, and the spot before you was the best spot. How do you follow that? You just don't.
Actually happens a lot.
Oh, I'm sure it does. But, all analogies aside, I think as for what it was, there's aspects of it that could have been better. You can definitely tell by the cameos. Bruce Campbell.
Well, that's just because it was the Sam Raimi movie.
Exactly. He's only, when he does any of the Marvel stuff, he's always in it. But yeah, I think that played a big part in it. And he's not a horrible director. He just had a different vision.
Well, no, the direction was fine. It was just okay. So I enjoyed the movie, but I didn't love it. And the direction was great. The story was okay. All the actors were amazing. I mean, they did a phenomenal job. It's just the story was okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, there are going to be people that disagree with me. You're going to have people that absolutely loved it, and you're going to have people that didn't enjoy it at all. And I'm kind of in the middle. So.
For me, it was like Iron Man 2. I'd continue to watch it.
Well, sure.
But
I mean,
it wasn't 1 or 3.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 3 was of Iron Man.
Yeah, but, everybody's indifferent to a degree.
But, yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Always do it.
Sorry, uploading a YouTube video, people.
So professional.
Go subscribe now.
Yeah, I said Doctor Strange. It's good. It wasn't great.
Oh, no doubt it probably could have been better.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what are you going to do, man? It'll be okay. But, talking about the things that were in the movie, I mean, obviously we saw Wanda. For those of you who don't know, she ended up being the bad guy until the end. Or was it the end? Because with the multiverse, she could be anywhere.
True, but for the actress, I think she's done.
I can get behind that, but, you know what they say. Never say never.
True.
Could they make cameos?
Sure.
Probably. But I think Elizabeth Olsen isn't done with the MCU just yet.
I think she is.
Especially since they're making a movie, supposedly. Oops. Breaking.
Haven't heard anything on that.
I have.
Okay.
It's supposedly in the works.
So it hasn't.
Nothing's been greenlit.
It's not.
But if it does, she's not done. It'll be another Black Widow scenario.
Contract is up. She's done.
Yeah, but she can sign another one. I'm sure she enjoyed them.
Mentioned recently that she missed out on a lot of parts because of her contract with MCU. So if it's over, I'm pretty sure she's done with it.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and
I'm not
see.
saying she would come back for a cameo, but
Yeah.
But I think she's done.
So, let's talk about the multiverse. The different Doctor Strange, number one.
Mm-hmm.
They all look different, but they all seem to have the same part. Not the same part, but the same power.
Yeah. But Sorcerer Supreme, or Sorcerer Supreme should be, but they're all sorcerers.
And then you step in front of the council. How blown away were you?
Oh, man. I mean, with the Illuminati, like in the comics, it's Black Bolt, Namor, Professor Xavier, Doctor Strange, maybe a sixth. I can't remember. So
Now, wasn't Reed Richards a part of that?
Oh, that's right. Yes, he was. There was the sixth one. Thank you. So, so I wasn't sure because I don't know for sure. They've got the rights to Namor, and I wasn't sure. I mean, we knew Patrick Stewart was going to be in. You hear his voice in one of the trailers, but you didn't know if the others were going to be there. Because we've seen one instance of Black Bolt, and it was in the Inhumans TV show, and it was not great at all. So, sure enough, there's Black Bolt, same actor, and I cannot for the life of me remember his name, but he's in fairly accurate costume. Then you've got Captain Carter from What If.
Now, supposedly they're trying to green light something for her too.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be good. And then you had, was it Monica Rambeau?
Yes.
From, I can't remember if Monica was the mom or the daughter that was in WandaVision, but the mom is Captain Marvel in this.
The one that you saw in not in Captain Marvel, in Doctor Strange, was that Monica or was that the mom?
That's what I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the name for it.
I think it was the mom.
It was, but I can't remember if the mom's name was Monica.
No. Monica Rambeau is the daughter.
Okay, so it was the mom. She's became Captain Marvel, and she's on the council. Then you've got Baron Mordo. He took over for Sorcerer Supreme when Doctor Strange in that universe died. Then you've got Charles Xavier, of course. And whereas the Black Bolt reveal was huge, just seeing him actually in costume, the biggest reveal, and I have not heard him anything official about that, is John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
Yes. That was the biggest surprise of it all.
Holy shit. I mean...
He didn't live long.
Yeah. But I mean, he's been, fan favorite to play him since Marvel got the rights. I mean, probably before, but definitely since Marvel got the rights back from Fox.
Yes.
So.
Agreed.
Yes. So seeing him in that was absolutely amazing. And would love to see more of that. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. They do have plans for Fantastic Four, but I don't know if...
Yeah, they've announced they are making it, but time will tell.
Yes.
Just remember, anything can happen when
That's
you're
true.
in the MCU.
Also true.
So, I think for me, my favorite part wasn't like a clip or like a 5-second spot. I think it was the latter half of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not because there was more action. It was about the same amount of action.
Yeah.
But you got to see him wield the Darkhold.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, spoiler again, the ending credit where Charlize Theron's character,
who is, I believe, been confirmed to be Cleo,
shows up, and all of a sudden, the third eye shows up.
Mm-hmm.
So, excited to see what they do next with that, because I know Benedict Cumberbatch loves playing Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah. And there's going to be a third one. Now, maybe 2-3 years down the line, maybe longer, but they'll do another one.
But I digress.
Mm-hmm.
So, you've seen that movie a lot more than I have.
I mean, I went and saw it a second time.
And I can't remember a whole lot about... Like, I enjoyed the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't unenjoyable.
That's what I'm saying. I enjoyed it. I just didn't love it.
But I liked when they were... Oh. Is it Miss Marvel? Is that who that is?
Who was in the movie?
Yeah.
It's America Chavez.
What's the difference?
Huge difference.
I thought they were the same character.
No.
So why do they call her America Chavez? Same thing they call
That's her name.
Like real name?
Yeah.
Oh. She doesn't have a superhero name? That's lame.
No. That's just her name. But she has the abilities to travel the multiverse.
So when she shows up, obviously you kind of see that in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That was wild.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and I'm not sure what else she's been in. I think it's been a few other things, but she's phenomenal in this movie. And I cannot pronounce her first name, nor will I try and butcher it.
Yeah, but that was a good addition. We kind of knew that was coming, and the whole Captain Marvel in the other universe, everybody swore up and down that was Iron Man, including me.
I wasn't sure.
Everybody said that's got to be Superior Iron Man.
Superior Spider-Man wouldn't have... Spider-Man, jeez. Iron
He
Man.
could be there too.
No. He wouldn't have been in the Illuminati, not for his character. It wouldn't have made sense. Because Superior Iron Man came about during the... I'm forgetting the event, but basically a bunch of the heroes and villains basically had their... if they were good, they became evil. If they were evil, they became good. And after the events of that, Iron Man was able to avoid it, so he stayed, not necessarily evil, but I mean, without his inhibition, so overly arrogant. Anything he wants, he'll, done his way, he'll make it happen kind of thing. So that wouldn't have worked for the Illuminati. They would have, especially with what they did with Doctor Strange, they would have gotten rid of him easily.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have been Superior.
But that's all I got to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on.
Mm-hmm.
I know you did your homework. I didn't.
I did. Now, I haven't written anything down, so we'll see how this goes.
Ghostbusters moments.
Yes.
Let's just break it down. 1, 2, and then Afterlife.
Okay.
That way
Not
we're
necessarily
not...
top 10, just...
Well...
Do we want a certain amount from each?
Yeah, I think so. Because, I mean, there's so many different things you can do with the first, the second, and especially Afterlife.
Yeah. So, I don't know. What do you think? 4 from 1 in Afterlife and 2 from 2?
Say that again?
4 moments from Ghostbusters 1, 4 moments from Afterlife, and then about 2 moments from 2, because let's face it, 2 is not as good as the others.
I like it.
Okay.
So... I started the first half.
Mm-hmm.
You're up.
Okay. Let's see. It's hard to choose. So honestly, when I was watching it, I figured I was just going to go with maybe entire scenes. Because it's kind of hard to choose like specific moments, but if you have specific scenes, you get more with that. So for me, honestly, just to start off, this is actually more of a character thing, is any scene that, why am I spacing right now? It's been a long day.
Where's Big Lee Money when you need him?
Oh my god, I got it. Rick Moranis. How did I forget that? Any scene Rick Moranis is in.
Mr. Tully?
In Ghostbusters 1, yes.
Who let the dog in?
His character is just amazing, just the way he played it. Because, I mean, Rick Moranis has played so many different types of characters from, well, actually mostly nerdy, but different varying degrees of nerdy. And so this one here is actually one of my favorites. Well, that and maybe Little Giants. But,
Was it the little horror shop?
Oh, Little Shop of Horrors, yeah.
Yes.
Also phenomenal.
I love that.
Love that movie.
The singing Flytrap.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah, Rick Moranis' character, I mean, being obsessed with Dana, and...
Then, he kind of got the girl, sort of.
Yeah, in a way.
In a not so him, but him physically way.
A possessed way.
Yes.
Any scene Rick Moranis is in, I'm all for.
2 was better for him than 1 was.
I don't think so. I think Tully's character was better in the first one than the second. And don't get me wrong, I love the courtroom scene from 2 with him.
You don't want our guys exposing ourselves.
Because, he's not really a lawyer. Yeah,
No, he's mostly
he's,
studies tax law.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that part was good, but the rest of it was, I don't know,
It was
a,
eh.
yeah, it was just...
They just had to make something to follow up.
Right. Right. And his character was just better in one. And I'm very much hoping in the Afterlife sequel, which I guess is the fourth one in the series, or maybe it's Afterlife sequel, I don't know. Really hoping he's at least, cameoed.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's back acting because he was in a Mint Mobile commercial.
Yeah, he did that, and there's talk of him coming back to do, was an SCTV special. Canadian SNL.
Oh, yeah. I've never heard of it.
Oh, you should, because John Candy was in it. Martin Short. That's where a lot of them got their start.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
I've heard rumors of that.
For me, I kind of liked the whole Bill Murray, what's her name?
Sigourney Weaver.
Yes. The chemistry that they had was undeniable.
Yep.
I think they really loved each other.
In the movie. Yes. In the movie.
But are you the key master? Well, no. And then she slams the door. Knocks on the door again. Are you the key master? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently she didn't know that they were dating, apparently. Because remember, up to that point, she was rejecting him.
Yeah.
And then she became a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, they're in love.
Well, they were meeting for dinner before she became possessed.
Oh, they were supposed to.
Yes. That's why he was over there.
But I think their chemistry was undeniable.
Oh, it was great.
It was crazy. There's a few more than that, of course. So, what you got? So that was 1 and 1 on 1. So we got 3 more. That's going to be easy.
Yeah, exactly. It's just picking which one I want to talk about next. So I guess I'll go with, going after the whole possession, it would be the rooftop scene.
At the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
And them going up there and Ray being asked if he's a god, and he's like, well, no. Then they get electrocuted. And you got Winston's like, supernatural being asks if you're a god. You say yes.
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 It was, that wasn't a horrible scene, and for the graphics, it was good. It was really good.
Also the 80s.
Well, I mean, the 80s, that was not supposed to be the hit that it was, but now it's a cult classic.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just a phenomenal movie all around, but...
Because I think that year, this is going way off track, but that year they were going up against Batman.
Nope. Ghostbusters is 84.
They were going up against a box office name at that time.
Batman was 89.
So I might be thinking of the second one. They were going up against Batman. Because the second one came out in 89.
Yeah,
5 years later.
I think so, yeah.
Which I thought was kind of weird. Not weird, but, yeah, I digress. So, the rooftop scene.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, I like the library, though.
Oh, the library's amazing.
You know, tapping on the desk and going, ooh, and then slamming a book down.
Yep.
And then, of course, they get into conversation, and, of course, Egon, being the brainiac, was like, he said something about putting a hole in his head.
Yeah, it's like, it would have stopped you from drilling a hole in your head. He's like, yeah, that would have worked.
Yeah. So, I mean, that right there, that tells you the kind of chemistry they had up to that point. And, of course, they were all in movies together at some other point.
Yeah, I mean, they did, Harold Ramis directed Caddyshack.
Yeah, Caddyshack, they were
in Stripes.
Yep. And then, of course, Dan Aykroyd and Harold worked on Caddyshack 2. Because Dan Aykroyd was in that one. He played...
The last time I watched Caddyshack 2.
It was okay. It wasn't like...
That's what I remember.
The best. But, again, it was a 70s movie, and it was one of those you had to be high or drunk to watch. Because it was the 70s, that's what they did. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I am. I'm not that old, thank God. So that's mine. So that's 2 and 2.
Just go over, just in general, just the practical effects.
Yes.
I mean...
Sorry, I gotta stand up for a minute.
Okay, so, yeah, understood. So yeah, practical effects. I mean, obviously, CG back then is not the best, and, there were CG moments in the movie. But the practical effects, yeah, 'cause I mean, opening when the cards are flying out of the drawers, books flying, back and forth on the shelves, even the ghost and all practical. Just the way they did it was just added so much more to it. Zool, all the Hellhound stuff, all that. I mean, the chase scene between. Oh my God, what was his?
Now you're talking about when he was running from the dog?
Yes, I mean, obviously you got some CG moments with that.
And he ran into that glass and he was like, "Help me!"
So, seeing the dogs there, they were practical. The chasing obviously was some CG, but the practical effects there, they were just so well done and added so much more to the movies. And, they did it throughout 2 and Afterlife as well.
Yes. But, of course, technology being what it was, it's only going to be so good anyway.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and
but for the times, it was
dated. Yes, but it still holds up because the story's still amazing. The practical effects still hold up. Because I mean, Slimer was practical.
Thank you, Ivan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Harold, and of course Dan.
Yeah.
Just think, that movie was almost called Ghost Smashers.
Yeah. Because they couldn't get the rights to Ghostbusters because it was a 60s TV show involving a gorilla.
Weird.
Yeah.
They did it better.
They did. They were chasing ghosts in the show, if I remember correctly, but they were able to procure the name. Even they filmed some of the scenes when they were saying Ghostbusters as the Ghost Smashers or whatever it was. I think they had a few names, but they filmed it with the Ghostbusters as well because they didn't have the rights even when they were filming the movie. They were trying to get them while they were filming, so they filmed multiple scenes with the Ghostbusters where name was mentioned as what they were going for there, just to make sure they'd have the footage for it to release on time. But they were able to get it, obviously.
Word.
Yeah. So you have practical effects.
So practical effects.
And I know that's kind of over-encompassing for it, but...
I think, as a general rule of thumb, like the first big scene that we see was at the hotel. Go ahead and switch me on. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, they've never tested this. It's a nuclear reactor on my back.
Yeah.
Turn them on, you see them
and then
back away.
They go after the ghost who ends up being one of the most beloved characters, Slimer. So, that's really rad. And then you got, in conjunction with that, the scene where they're fighting, trying to catch him. Yeah, and the plates or the flowers are still standing. Yeah.
Yeah, that entire hotel scene.
But the best part was when they came out. We saw, we kicked his ass. And then, how much is this going to cost? And then you see the $4,000. I'll never pay it.
So we can put him right back, can't we, Ray? It's like, oh yes, we certainly can.
So I mean that to me was good. I mean, they're all comedic geniuses in their own right. Obviously, I haven't really seen anything Dan Aykroyd's played in that's been serious. I've seen some stuff Bill Murray's done that's been semi-serious.
Yeah, you got like Lost in Translation.
Same thing with Harold Ramis. He was in a few bits and pieces, but he was more behind the scenes.
He may have played some serious-ish characters, but the movies themselves, well, that's Dan Aykroyd too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like Dan Aykroyd, one of my favorite actors. Ray is my favorite Ghostbuster. Got into blues music because of Blues Brothers.
Cop tires, cop brakes, cop suspension.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Second one, not so much.
Nah, the second one was enjoyable, but I mean, it was meant, I think, for...
It was a memoriam.
Yeah, and it may have been meant for possibly a younger-ish audience, but just because it was PG-13 and not R. And that could have been a studio decision, not his. I'm not sure.
Very true.
But, yeah. Sorry, I got off topic.
So, which one? I did the hotel scene.
Yeah.
Was that 3 and 3?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. So it means you're up.
Okay, let's see. So many to choose from. I probably should have written these down. This is why I write this stuff down. Let's see. Playing the movie back in my head. Alright, the theme. I've been hearing this song since I was born. Before I was born.
And what theme song is that? Ray Parker Jr. or is that Run DMC? Both of them were good. Run DMC did a version of it.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the original.
And I think that was in the second one, though.
Yeah, talking about the original. Yeah, Ray Parker Jr. Absolutely.
Very cool. So
I mean,
that's...
how can you not sing along to it?
That's
dance to
iconic.
it?
Now,
Absolutely.
you watch, was it the Movies That Made Us, where he talked about making that literally while they were standing at the door to collect the song?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
So, again, genius. So simplistic, but it's so iconic.
Yeah.
When you hear the you know what it is.
Yep.
It's like Jaws. Mm-hmm. You know.
Oh, yeah.
It's ingrained. So, yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
When Fallout Boy did 2016, that was kind of bad. That was really bad.
I don't remember it. It's
Yeah,
been a while since
they
I watched
did
movie.
the theme song.
Oh, no, I remember
They
when
redid
you said
but
it came to me, but I hadn't watched it in a while.
I mean, it's for a newer audience, I get that, but, you know, I'm almost 40. I don't care about that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I want the original.
Yep.
Doesn't always work out that way.
No.
So you had the theme song.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of good music in there. A lot of it was just
yes, absolutely.
orchestra stuff, but
Yeah, when the reactor is, the storage container is turned off and the ghosts are going through New York and the music playing through it is great too.
So what about the scene? Well, two different scenes.
Mm-hmm.
The one where he goes to check out Dana's apartment,
Mm-hmm.
according to him.
Yes.
And she was like, "Do you really know how to use that thing?" And I don't even think that was an actual tool. It was like a sniffer of some sort.
Yeah, it was like
It was
something
weird.
like spray, like pesticide on sidewalks kind
Yeah.
of thing.
And then when she gets consumed by the dog,
Mm-hmm.
there's a technical term for that, and I don't know it.
I can't remember either.
But the terror dog, I think that's what it is. Terror
sounds
dog.
right.
So those to me were great. I mean, there was a ton in there. When she saw the top of her building with Gozer and the dogs in the fridge, and the eggs started to cook themselves. It's like, how did they do that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not only that, it's like during the montage when after they caught Slimer, I mean, then you've got, that whole montage, and you got Ray having a sex dream about a ghost.
Yes.
I mean, So it's just the randomness of it. It's just so many scenes that you're not expecting. It happens, and yeah.
So, before we move on, because we're just gonna touch on a few other things here, we gotta touch on some of the sponsors for Redline Radio that make all this possible. Make this show possible, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble for that one. But so, Detroit Auto Parts is the official parts store of Redline Radio. They have 2 convenient locations, one in the east side. You can call 216-531-7373, or you can call the west side at 216-398-7373. Mention Redline Radio, and guess what? You'll receive 10% off your purchase that day. Sounds like a good deal, with the exception of we're in Roanoke.
Hope you guys
But
out.
if you're in Detroit, around Detroit, close to Detroit, like,
Road tripping to Detroit.
yeah, I mean, if you just have nothing better to do,
Yeah.
go give them a visit. Buy some stuff.
Growing Wings Adult Services, official sponsor of the state-of-the-art Studio 2, which is good, I'm guessing. I've never seen it. Growing Wings Adult Services has 5 years of experience of taking care of adults with disabilities. For more information, call Lisa at 234-334-7547.
Has anybody ever told you have a face for radio?
Yes, I tell myself this often.
Something new coming to Redline Radio. RPW. What is RPW?
Why don't you tell us?
RPW is Redline Pro Wrestling. Guess what? It says it's coming up in January 2022, which is already passed.
I can't wait to see that.
But still, look out for that. I think they've already started that.
I think so.
I think so.
Yes.
Shout out to Lee on that one, big guy. Thank you.
At Crystal Clean Cleaning Services, you're not clean unless you're crystal clean. Call Crystal today at 440-506-1355 to schedule your appointment today. If you mention Redline Radio, you'll receive 10% off your cleaning.
All right. Enough of that sponsor stuff.
For now.
We have a couple more things to touch on here. 30 seconds. I think I got my phone upside down. Hello. Come on. Thank you. I hate technology.
It's
It
great
hates
when
me
it
too.
works.
Yeah, it hates me too. So, here's our all-star lineup for the week. Obviously, if you're seeing this, we had technical difficulties on Tuesday. We had no internet.
Yes, the
And-
entire thing was down.
Thanks, Cox Cable. Appreciate it. And my Wi-Fi hotspot did not want to work either. So, with that being said, the weekly Redline Radio show schedule are as followed. On Monday, we have Just Therapy with Sean Boyd and Ms. KT from 7 to 9. Following up on Monday, we have NASCAR Crank It Up. Sorry, I added some words. From the Growing Wings Adult Services Studio. That is from 8:30 to 10 p.m. Make sure you check those out.
Alright, and Tuesdays, you have Talk Sweet with Honey Badger. It's 11 a.m. to noon. Then you have Tim Buck Tuesdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Wildman Gary Winter. Apologies for if I mispronounced that. 7 to 11. It's on, RedlineRadioLLC.com, radio.co, and Redline Radio LLC app. Then you got Broad Street South from 8 to 9, Redline banner page. Then you normally have us, and we should be back to Tuesdays. Yes, from 8 to 10, from here, where we live in Roanoke, Virginia.
All right. Following up on Wednesday, we have Money's Crazy Soundtrack from 4 to 10, exclusively on Redline Radio LLC.com.
4 to 6.
Yeah, I said 4 to 6. What did I say, 4 to 8?
4 to 10.
4 to 10. Hey, let's move it to 4 to 10. So that's 4 to 6. My bad. Then we have Sugar and Spice from the Growing Wings Adult Studios from 5 to 7. Don't miss that. Continuing to serve from the Growing Wings Adult Studio every other Wednesday, 7 to 9 p.m. And then guess what? We're going to start talking about balls. Talking about balls is from the Growing Wings Adult Studio every other Wednesday, 9:30 to 11.
And on Thursdays, you've got the Lex Vegas show from 7 to 8, Broad Street South from 8 to 9, and Club Pizzle from 9 to 10, starting in June 2nd, I believe.
New show.
Yes.
Show some love, will
Yes.
you? And then on Friday, we got The Grapevine from 6 to 8 p.m. And then The Man of the Hour. The man, the myth, the legend. Maybe. I think so.
Sure.
Money's Crazy Mind from the Growing Wings Adult Studio, 8 to 10. Got something special coming up with that guy real soon. Make sure you stay tuned for that.
All right. Then on Saturdays, you got 4th and 15 with Mel and Smooth from 2 to 4. The pregame show, 6 to 8. And Cocktails and Comedy with Jen Jen from 7 to 8.
And then finally on Sunday, It's Real Funny Out There from 5 to 6:55. And then we have coming back very soon, if not it's already here, Steel City Renegades from the Growing Wings Adult Services Studio. And guess what? That's from 7 to 9. If you'd like to be a part of Redline Radio, give Graber Machine Tool Hotline. Wait, that's totally wrong. Sorry. Yeah, let's move on. I digress. So,
Showtime, a-holes!
apparently it's showtime. All right. So, instead of, in light of moving to the second half of this, let's talk about what we enjoy before we move on into our break.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, if you enjoy cooking, great. If you enjoy movies, fantastic. I know you're a man of many, many tastes. You like everything from collectibles,
Yes.
movies,
Yes.
Legos.
Yeah, of course.
I don't have the patience for it, but extremely jealous.
Yeah. Some cool sets out there. You find the patience.
I mean, you've got the faux beard over here. We should just call you Red Beard.
Oh.
Oh, it's not fake.
No.
I used the wrong word. It's okay. I'm special. They said come talk and I can talk, so here I am.
Oh, get that out of here. I worked hard on growing this. It's not hard to grow this.
You know, I think having a passion of some sort, whether it be collecting, collecting whatever, movies, memorabilia, collectibles. If you collect cardboard boxes, hey, no judge.
Some cool ones out there.
Go for it. Everybody needs to have a hobby of some sort, no matter what that is. There are a lot of people that collect weird things like shoes.
Well, you got people that go to the gym. It's
It's a hobby.
It's
We know
whatever-
somebody like that.
Yes, we do. It's whatever you do to escape from reality.
Very true.
Yeah.
And, that's what we're trying to do here is create something that you can watch or listen to, and it pulls you out of wherever you are. Everybody needs to pick me up.
Yeah.
Except for you can't pick me up.
Could. Once.
So, as far as hobbies go, I mean, I'm not a video game nut. I used to be. I do like collecting Funko Pops. I've got probably 200. And I have a few that are worth money. I have a Joker. It fluctuates between $250 and $350. I'm proud of that. I've got a few signed ones. I've got the Hulk. Mark Ruffalo signed it. It's JSA authenticated, which is cool. I've got Kurt Angle, which is also JSA authenticated, which is awesome. And then I have a few odds and ends stuff that aren't really collectibles, but I went, ooh, I have the money, let's buy it. And then all of a sudden, in my mind, it's a collectible. I've got a stack of comics that I know nothing about.
Read them.
Well, they're encased in plastic, and I don't want to bend the pages. They're really, really, really well kept.
Read them.
Nah. They're old. 60s, 70s, 90s, 2000s. I don't know.
Read them.
But, that's the kind of stuff that I get into sometimes. And then, of course, got the podcast, the YouTube channel, and now this right here in the something or other studio. I think that's what I call it.
Ooh, we should come up with a name. Because my apartment just doesn't have a good ring to it. We'll have something. We'll come up with something.
we can call it. Oh well. It would be fitting for us if we just called it the My Mechanic Studios, because everybody at work will tell you, I always take that to My Mechanic. You ever heard that?
Yeah, but that makes no sense with
It
what
doesn't.
we're doing. We'll do better. We'll do better.
Oh,
I think. Yeah, hobbies for me, I mean, as I grew up, didn't always have cable or anything, so books and movies were how I, passed the time. Comics. Video games when I went over to a friend's house. Still don't play much video games. There are a few, but it's still movies, comics,
that was not a sound effect. That was the water.
board games, Legos. Anything I can use to escape from how much reality sucks.
True that.
Yeah.
So, do me a favor, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, whether it's on Redline Radio, LLC. I can't forget the LLC because Dave will kill me. Beyond Roanoke Entertainment, and the other fun platforms they use. I think they're on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook. There's probably another. I just can't remember. So, with that being said, we're going to shift off into the break. So, without further ado, here we go. Dude, my leg kept falling asleep. Like right now, it's dead. Oh yeah, it's dead. Oh my god. Oh, that's rough. It must be the way I'm sitting in the chair. I'm not ready to go for it. That's actually less pressure when you know nobody's watching. Oh, I muted it. Oh. Yeah. But I do like the live aspect of it. It's weird. Is that metal or is that plastic? Oh, it looks metal. And your head's too big to fit in, and so is mine. That's still cool, though. That is very cool. Oh, wait, is that the one that's 3D printed?
myself and burn it all again. It's the right time to escape.
So we can do when we come back, we can read some of these. Next time you should pick some music, some copyright free stuff, and then just tell me what it is and I'll make it. Yeah, I mean, it won't be 2 hours. It'll be like an hour, like 45 minutes or something, which is fine. Mm-hmm. All right, welcome back to the second half of Pinch Yourself Because You're Not Dead. You're seeing us live, recorded live. Live recorded? Just recorded.
Yeah, previously live.
So that music was brought to us by OnLap, royalty free, on YouTube. Check them out. They got a lot of stuff out there. Pretty good stuff. All right, so jumping right back in. Do you have an RV, a motorhome, a camper, whatever you want to call it? If you do, go check out RVPartsExpress.com. They're located at 812 Kimberly Street, Northwest, New Philadelphia, Ohio. They're an RV and camper specialty parts realtor for all your RV parts needs. You can look them up at RV Express. Again, that's RVExpress.com.
We got Grabber Machine and Tool. It's the official hotline sponsor of Redline Radio, located at 313 Clark Street, El Rio, Ohio. I'm so sorry about mispronouncing that. You can call them today at 440-322-3685.
Do you like die-cast cars, model cars? Then you need to check out Pit Road for all your die-cast needs. Call them at 216-355-2347. And guess what? If you mention Redline Radio, you will receive 10% off your first order. Wow.
In-store purchases.
That is wild.
Mm-hmm.
Check them out.
Then you got incredible keepsakes. Call 440-242-9648. Go to the website at www.incrediblekeepsakes.com. As Diane would say, cherished moments are made to last forever.
Then you have home renovations. Do you need a new bathroom, kitchen? Just overall renovate your house, make it look nice? Then you need to check out Wiggins Construction and Home Improvement. They do bathrooms, kitchens, windows, doors, sliding doors, and much, much more. Call Will today at 440-731-7654. Make sure you tell them that Redline Radio sent you.
Eyeglass Hospital, laser repair specialist. Call them today at 440-455-1026.
All right, so on to the second half of Ghostbusters moments.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to move on to 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I went first last time, so...
You're wrong, but I'll go first again.
Yes, I am wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay.
Yeah. Keep with the theme. So, as a kid, for me, just that whole aspect of it, it's what they did with all of it is the ooze. The river of slime, dancing toaster.
Yeah, the toaster was awesome. I'm sorry.
Spraying it all over Statue of Liberty and having her walk through New York. I mean, just as a kid, seeing all that stuff was just so much fun.
Hey, Tyler, I don't think they make Nikes in her size.
They should.
No, yeah, you're right. The Statue of Liberty scene was iconic
Mm-hmm.
in the fact that, you know, that's I guess you can consider it a national treasure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, the ooze was another aspect. I think 5 years later, the CG that it took to have the river of slime, it's a river of slime,
Yep.
was just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing I'm curious about, and I'm sure there's a very simple explanation, would be, how did they make pink slime? Maybe food dye?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, it's what they did with, like, what was it? GAC? The Nickelodeon GAC?
Yes,
All
but
that
I
stuff,
can
just food just some kind of coloring.
I can tell you how we're going to find that out. Shameless plug coming. Ben Eady, and I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong,
Mhm.
is going to be my guest on the Limitless podcast. Yes, it's no longer Morning with Josh,
Showtime, a-holes!
and it's showtime.
A-holes.
That is going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. So if you don't subscribe, don't follow, and rate any of our podcasts, shame on you. Shameless plug. But anyway, yeah, I think that was a good one. Well, a good couple. I mean, that's just the effects aspect of things, which is great. From 2, I think the slime blower is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the fact that they took what looked like a mini silo maybe, and made it actually shoot the slime. And it kind of foamed it up a bit. Did you notice?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I like that. But I also thought not so much the way they portrayed Vigo, but how they made him seem like a bigger villain than Gozer, which of course is not the case at all.
No.
And you know, that's another episode. But the way they transitioned that was really good. From just seeing movements in the picture, certain people would see it in the painting. Painting, and you know, when they're analyzing it, once they figure it all out, they're analyzing the painting, and of course, Ray, for a brief moment, I think he got not so much possessed,
Yes.
but it was the beginnings of the fact that he knew he could take over his body.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was trying to take over the baby just to have more of a life to take over the world, but when that became impossible, there was Ray standing right there, so...
And then at the end of all that, through the fight the slime blower and the streams, or the proton stream. I liked the painting. The painting at the end was great, and then Vigo was no more. So it was a couple different things, and say what you want. I mean, for what it was, and for as much love as they put into it, which wasn't a lot, it was good for what it was. It's still pretty iconic now. Way back when, it wasn't. It was a horrible movie. It didn't do well.
I mean, as a kid, it's like I've loved both of them, but the second was always my favorite. Just, mainly because of the slime and all that. So, I mean, that had nothing to do. I mean, obviously, one is the superior movie, but I still really enjoy watching two. Because, I mean, while it's not as good as the first, it's still not a bad movie.
The origin stories are always better.
Yes.
It's hard to make a sequel and make it great. Yeah. Especially when there's 10 hands on the script going, no, don't do it that way, do it this way. No, don't do it that way, we're going to do it this way.
Yeah.
But that, again, that's a story for another day. But I think you're right on that, and I think part of me liked the slime blowers. That was a big thing that they incorporated in that. And then, of course, the changing of the uniform, the flight suit, if you will, going from the iconic gray to
like a dark
like
blue.
Yeah, it was like a dark, really charcoal, like a charcoal gray.
Yep.
And then at the end, you have them wearing two different. Because I think Ernie Hudson's character and Bill Murray's character, or was it Dan Aykroyd's character at the end, they were wearing the same. And then the other two were in the iconic uniform. I might be thinking that incorrectly. But anything's possible. So,
honestly, I never really paid much attention to those details.
I mean, that's just the finite detail, going with one more. I'm just going to go ahead and get it out there. It's not really a moment for me, but I think that's something that kind of touched on Egon's character as a kid was he never even had a slinky. We had a half of one once, but I straightened it. Yeah. The brainiac of the group. So those are my moments. I mean, there's so many different more, or so many different ones. Not so many different more because I'm special. Sorry. But that's me. There's so many different more you can pluck.
I mean, like the slime was a big one for me because that was just the appeal for just what they did with it. But the other one for me would be the courtroom scene.
Oh yeah, the Scolari brothers, friends of yours. I tried them for murder.
Send them to the chair.
That was good, and the CG was really good for that.
Well, and it's that you hadn't seen them use the proton packs up to that point.
Yes.
So it was the first time them being Ghostbusters again. So.
We're back.
Indeed.
So, that's all I had on that one. I mean, there were so many more iconic things going on in number one.
Yes.
We're going to skip over 2016.
Yes.
Sorry, people.
Sorry. I mean, for me, saying this, it's nothing personal, just as far as it's just keeping with the franchise.
If you liked it, great. If they'd have called it anything else but Ghostbusters.
That's what I've said since it came out. Like, the movie was really good. It just was not a good Ghostbusters movie. Same way I feel about the, 98 Godzilla movie. It's a really good giant monster movie. It's just a horrible Godzilla movie. But a movie on its own, it's a phenomenal movie. I really enjoy watching it. And Ghostbusters, was it Answer the Call? Is that what it was?
Yes.
I mean, I enjoyed watching it.
Did you answer
loved
the call?
Cast. I mean, I went and saw it.
I didn't waste my money on that. I wasted it on the DVD.
I didn't consider it a waste of money. Like I said, I really did actually enjoy the movie. It just was, I wouldn't consider it, a Ghostbusters movie.
So
it's like they could have done their own thing and could have had a phenomenal movie with it.
For me, it wasn't the actors. It wasn't the CGI.
Actors were great. No, and honestly, I would have liked to have seen some more practical effects, but the CG was pretty damn good, actually.
It was the story.
Yeah, the story was
That for me is all I'm going to say about that. It was the story. And, jumping into Afterlife. Oh God, there's so many on that. I mean, the beginning of it, you meet his daughter, which you kind of know, but you don't know. They're related to someone.
Well, no. I mean, you know.
In a way.
Yeah.
Once you get a little bit further into the scene, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
But then you've got the spitting image of Egon, but in a granddaughter. And she was, man.
Oh, yeah, she absolutely was.
The mannerisms were there.
Monotoneness.
Yes. Like when the podcast goes, I think Mr. Gruber wants to bang your mom or sleep with your mom or something like that. And she goes, huh. He goes, that doesn't upset you at all? Oh, no, I don't exhibit emotions like everyone else. Inside, I'm throwing up, but the outside, eh. And, Egon was that way to a degree. In the second one, I think they really they opened his character a tiny bit more.
He tried jokes more.
And that's one of the things that she had. And that was part of the brainchild between Ivan and Jason. The executive producers on there, I'm probably going to butcher the guy's name, Eric Reich. He was one of the producers on there.
Reich or Reich? Reich or Reich?
One of the two, yeah. I'll mess it up. He was Ivan's right-hand man. So, you had Easter eggs all over the place. The book stacking, the license plate.
Crunch bar, the Twinkie.
Yes. Which those were bluntly obvious, but I mean, like,
book stacked.
Things like you go down and you see the old EKG machine, which they had from the first one. Blink and you miss it. They had the spores, molds, and funguses. The Easter eggs were everywhere. The license plate in the barn, unless you were looking for it, you never saw it. Just because of where it was. And I've talked to several people. They say, "Oh boy." Yep. They say, "Oh boy." They say that in talking and working with Jason and Ivan, they did that on purpose. And it kind of makes sense because it's throwbacks, but it also keeps you watching it over and over. I've seen it probably 8 or 9 times, just being honest.
Yeah.
I can't say that I've seen the original Ghostbusters movie that much in that short a period of time. I've seen it that many times, but we're talking over probably 20 years. It's only been 2 years since that's been out.
It hasn't been a year yet.
Well, I mean, it was in the theaters in 2020, right? Or was it 2021?
Well, it might have been 2020, but I mean, it wasn't. There was an October, November time frame.
So, I mean, we're coming up on a decent time frame where that is. But, the Easter eggs are a huge part. Little Easter eggs, not in the movie, but a little behind the scenes thing. The Alberta Ghostbusters chapter actually worked on some of the practicals on that. I think they worked on the mountain carvings, inside the cave, or it wasn't really a cave, where they mined it. And they actually installed the gunner seat in the Ecto-1. And how about the Ecto-1? I mean,
seen some.
That was a new,
stuff.
not like brand new, but it was newly renovated, but it still looked like it had been sitting, which was the idea. And little hints about that is, in the normal driving scenes, where they're not drifting around corners or being like Ricky Bobby, I want to go fast. It had the normal engine that the millimeter came in with, and then those chase scenes, it actually has an LS GM crate engine in it. I didn't know that. So that was pretty wild. And that's not really an Easter egg, but that's something that you don't really see a whole lot. Because most people, when they're doing the behind-the-scenes stuff, they don't talk about that. But it's a character within itself. Always has been. But with that kind of going back to 2, I liked the original Ecto. Not to say that wasn't it. It was just too done up. With all the flashy lights and the reader board and the caution tape down the side. Yeah. It was just too done up. Mm-hmm. And you could see that it had so much weight when it went around a corner, it wanted to roll. Mm-hmm. Not to say that didn't happen in the first one. If you paid attention to the scenes, it did, but it wasn't as bad. Mm-hmm. I liked the fact that they kept things, for a lack of better terms, original, but with age, because it was 30 years in between the two, or in between the first one and Afterlife, wasn't it? 84, or was it 35? Well, we've already passed the 35th anniversary. It might be 38. Because it was 84, then you had 94, 2004, 2014, so it's been a while. 32? I can't do the math in my head, sorry.
Like 36 years, something like that.
But it's been a long time, because, well, yeah, that all I have to do is put my age in there. Mm-hmm. I'm 39, 83, that movie came out in 84, mm-hmm. so it's 38 years difference. Which is quite a bit of time. Mm-hmm. But the turnout for Afterlife just showed not only are there still fans out mm-hmm. there that have clamored for this. I mean, we kind of got the technically the third movie at the time with the Ghostbusters video game. Mm-hmm. Not Spirits Unleashed, but mm-hmm. the first one that came out in the early 2000s.
Ghostbusters, the video game.
So that people that are huge Ghostbusters fanatics kind of consider that 3.
Well, it was always kind of intended to be, because it didn't look like an actual third movie was going to be made. And so, I mean, it was, Dan Aykroyd and all them writing the script for it. They did the voices and all that. I mean, it was basically the spiritual third one before Afterlife came out to be the actual third.
Thank you, Answer the Call. We answered the call and threw your movie in the trash. And we got Afterlife.
Yeah.
So, but with Afterlife, I think the story was well put together. Mm-hmm. It gave you the 84 feel with 2020 CG technology, mm-hmm. With not really a new mouthpiece, so to speak, but you had the old with the new, mm-hmm. if that makes sense, between Ivan and Jason. I mean, Jason was always a Ghostbuster fanatic.
He grew up on the sets.
Yeah, he was there. But I think the introduction of new ghosts was great. Mm-hmm. You had the practicals for the terror dogs. You had the newer, more a little bit more evilish version of Gozer, which, if you don't know, that was Olivia Wilde.
Pretty sure it was the
part
same
of it
evil
was.
version.
Well, the suit was different. Because
Oh.
if you remember, in the first one, it was like Bubbles.
Well, I mean,
kind
they've
of.
updated it for.
And in this
material.
one, she had spikes
Mm-hmm.
and like an exoskeleton. So it was a more evilish type of version of what they had. Granted, technology is so much different now. But the stage where she comes out and the terror dogs are on the right and the left, that was pretty accurate, even though the other one was practical and somewhat digital in the first. That one was all practical with the exception of maybe a few camera tricks or lighting effects. But, the house, a lot of people don't know where that was done. Most everything, everything in that movie, with the exception of the ending credit of the firehouse, was filmed in Alberta, or around Alberta, which is surprising but not, because a lot of movies are filmed in Canada, believe it or not, and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking too much.
Yeah, you're fine.
So
I got
I got on a tangent.
It's fine. That's what we do.
It never happens to me. The look of death.
No, the look of...
You're crazy.
Yeah. Stop bullshitting me. Can't bullshit a bullshitter.
Why does it always gotta be bullshit? Can it be horse shit?
Sure.
Or chicken shit?
What shit you prefer?
I think cat shit's pretty good. I don't know why.
Whatever you're into.
Kids think it's little adult fingers that have been sitting in sand.
Okay, I'm gonna move us
Yeah.
on because
So
that's getting gross even for me.
How? Glasses on the mic. They don't mix.
But yeah, it's just the cast of the movie. Because you had your Tully type character with Paul Rudd.
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But he was a lot smarter.
Well, I said he's not Tully. You just see the Tully-like character as far as, kind of a comic relief type character.
Yes.
And all that. So, yeah.
Very true. You gotta have more than that.
Yeah, just watching what you're doing.
Oh, I'm texting. I'm sending a message to the producer.
So, but yeah, the casting was amazing. It was great to see all the, kind of touch on some of the things you said, all the Easter eggs that were involved with it. Might have possibly been a few too many, but I still loved them all. Practical effects, which the fact they still use practical effects, which added more to the feel of the originals for that reason.
It gave it depth.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Story was good.
Oh, the story was amazing.
It was they had a great homage to Harold Ramis there at the end. I was wondering if they were going to, or how it would come off if they did, but the way they did it was amazing.
Yes.
It was done beautifully. They didn't have him speak, which was one of the things I was worried about when that was happening, and he didn't need to, and they didn't have him do it, so that was great.
Very true. Yeah, I think that was a touching tribute to somebody who was a legend and an icon in everything that he did. Just the overall was great. The way the story was told, the new introduction of new characters. Podcast. Then you had the granddaughter, which I don't remember her name.
Phoebe.
And, that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, the characters, could tell they were coming together, for what they needed to do what needed to be done for the next generation of Ghostbusters. And I can't wait to see, because, a sequel to Afterlife has been greenlit.
Here we come.
Yeah. So it'll be great to see where they go next.
So, with that being said, we're probably going to cut the episode a little tiny bit short. Got some special stuff coming up next week. We'll get into that here in just a second. So, I want to take a minute and talk about a few more of Redline Radio's sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have Young's Jewelry, quality jewelry since 1975. Give them a call today at 440-455-1026.
One of One Sports Cards and Memorabilia, located at 13221 Prospect Road, Strongsville, Ohio. Call them today at 440-638-4044 for all your sports card memorabilia.
Are you like us? Have a
Hope
bunch
not.
of different productions going on, YouTube channels, radio shows, podcasts, then you need to call Doghouse Productions. Your vision is our production. Call Daryl today at 304-384-1387.
The Rusty Spur Saloon, located in Las Vegas, Nevada. The Rusty Spur Saloon has been voted the biggest hole-in-the-wall saloon for the last 2 years.
That sounds like a typo.
Well, I could have just read it wrong too.
So, we actually have a official
Mm-hmm.
band for Redline Radio. It's called Bad Julu. They are the official band of Redline Radio LLC. Call Dan today to book at 440-225-0501.
Alright, CRS Super Truck Series. They are the premier race series of Redline Radio. For sponsorship opportunities, call Billy at 216-217-5038.
Do you have dirty trash cans? I know I do.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be dirty-ish. Do they smell like fish? Hopefully
not.
not. But if they do, call Fitz's Trash Bin Cleaning, LLC. Trash bin cleaning and pressure washing. Fitz's Trash Bin Cleaning is locally owned and eco-friendly trash bin cleaning service in North Ohio, serving Northridge and the surrounding areas. You can reach Fitz's Trash Bin Collecting LLC at 440-752-1533 or at ftbcusa.com. Or you can email Brandon at brandon@ftbcusa.com. Find him on Facebook at ftbcusa.com. And guess what? If you mention Redline Radio while you book a service, you'll get 10% off. Wow, that is awesome. So if you're interested in advertising with this radio station, repeat, Redline Radio, if you're interested in advertising, call our main man, Dave, at 440-503-0828. For all of our programming information, check out Redline Radio on all social media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, LinkedIn. Man, I should have just read that when we were talking about it.
Yeah.
Want to take Redline Radio on the go? Well, go into iTunes, app, whatever Apple's got.
Google Play Store.
You got Google Play Store, and download the Redline Radio app on the Google Play Store. It's only on Google Play.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just messing with you Apple users.
Sounds like you didn't read
Google's
far
better.
enough ahead.
I didn't. So, with that being said, that's the list of our sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
And now, to end things out today, we're going to talk about what we got coming up. So next week we have a couple different things coming up. So for the watch list, we have Top Gun. Not Top Gun Maverick, because that hasn't come out yet.
Actually, that's what we're talking about is Top Gun Maverick for the watch list, because it comes out that Friday.
That is what it is. Then the weekly top 10 is Top Gun top moments. There's a lot. Then, of course, we'll have our standard break time. And then we're going to have another episode of the weekly Collectibles, which we will get into momentarily. But next week's is going to be Batman. So if you're a fan of anyone that's in the Batverse, stay tuned. That's coming. So to end the show with the weekly Collectibles, Tyler's got a bunch of stuff to go over with you.
Yeah, I'm doing this, Rocketeer Edition.
Yes.
So I'm going to start with the statues.
Yes, statues.
Okay, give me a second. So, I've always been a big fan of the character, the comics, the movie, all that.
Oh, that's wild looking.
So, got this one, where the stand is the jetpack. Flames coming from there.
Fire!
But it's just the costume has always been amazing. You know, it takes place in the 40s. Yeah, but the rocket pack, the jacket, the helmet, all iconic. One thing I want to do one day as a Halloween thing.
Dun da da da.
Then we got one that's a little more collectible. And this has actually got some heft to it.
Oh yeah. It's metallic on the bottom.
And then one of the things I've been wanting since I saw the movie, they had kits you could buy, but all the reviews were saying when you put it together, the fin aspect of it just did not work. So I finally found a guy who's able to make these. I don't remember exactly what I paid for it, but it was a lot. But
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
handmade, probably 3D printed, but still handmade, put together.
And to answer your question, because we all know you're thinking it, it does not fit either one of us.
Okay, so when I first got it, of course I had to try it. And I was able to get it on. Had to shove it down some, but I got it on. Then the fear set in when trying to take it off. It wasn't budging. A lot of panic. Not to mention, given my beard the way it is, was sticking out of these holes here. So of course I get it on, shove it on my head, so excited. Gotta go look in the mirror to see how awesome it is. And don't get me wrong, it was still awesome with beard coming out. But you can see beard sticking out, and I'm like, okay, I'll have to do something about that, braid it or something, get it out of the way. So then I go to take it off. Didn't account for my ears being as big as they are, which you can't see because of the headphones, keeping it from getting off. So basically I almost had to rip my ears off to get the helmet off, and I have not tried to put it back on since.
That's living in the danger zone.
Yeah, it was. It was a little frightening, but it was still amazing to have. I mean, it just sits on the stand it came with, displaying, staring at me.
And if you haven't seen that movie, guess what? Get off your butt and go watch it.
No, get on your butt and watch it.
Well, most people are going to have to go pick it up. Apparently,
If you have Disney Plus, you don't.
if you're watching this right now, which you most definitely are, but we're not live, it's Wednesday nights, and it's time to talk about balls. Okay, so that's what we got coming up. We're going to go ahead and take off a tad bit early. We might make it up next week. We might not. We probably won't because we'll get in trouble. So, anyway, make sure to follow us. Subscribe to our YouTube channels. There's 2 of us. Redline Radio LLC. Beyond Roanoke Entertainment. Go check out our podcast, The Limitless Experience, where everything you do can be limitless. I just made that up.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, help us out. Subscribe, follow all these places. And we'll see you same time, same great place.
Same time. Probably
8
not.
p.m.
Should
Tuesday.
There you go.
And that again is 8 p.m. Tuesday, okay, Tuesday.
Yes.
Don't miss it, okay?
Every Tuesday, unless my internet is down.
So, we'll see y'all later, know what I'm saying? Have a great night.
Okay.